Spurs will return to Australia to play Chelsea as part of our 2026 pre-season tour. Van der Ven's influence touted as being key as Simmons begins to shine at Spurs. Details of the FA Cup third round draw and where to watch. Spurs are admirers of Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta, but there are many roadblocks in the way of a transfer. And a Slavia Prague preview as Spurs look to continue their fantastic home form in European competition. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have announced that our men's first team will be visiting Sydney, Australia as part of our 2026 pre-season tour. Our visit will include participation in the 2026 Sydney Super Cup, including a fixture against Chelsea on Saturday the 1st of August, 7:45 kick-off local time at the 83,500 capacity Accor Stadium, the first time we have ever played our London rivals outside the UK. We will also play a fixture against the League A side Sydney FC on Wednesday the 29th of July at the Allianz Stadium. This will be the first time the club have visited Sydney since 2015 when we beat Sydney FC 1-0 in front of a packed Accor Stadium, and the fifth time in total that the club has visited Australia since that year. Most recently, the club visited both Perth and Melbourne in the space of a year in 2023-24, facing Premier League rivals West Ham United and Newcastle United. The club will also hold an open training session for fans on Friday the 31st of July at the Allianz Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur head coach Thomas Frank said Sydney is one of the world's most iconic locations for sports, and I'm excited to be able to take the team there to play two matches, including one against one of our biggest rivals. I've heard all about our passionate fan base in Australia, and it's something the club is very proud of. I can't wait to experience that for myself, and I know that the supporters will love the opportunity to watch us take on Sydney FC and Chelsea in their home country. While in Sydney, as well as engaging with our fans, it's important that we explore the local area and celebrate its culture. That is something we are all looking forward to. Football.London report that Tottenham Hotspur's resurgence in creativity has been fuelled not only by a new signing Xavi Simmons' growing influence on the pitch, but also by the quiet leadership of defender Mickey van der Ven, whose role in bringing the Dutch star to North London has now come into sharper focus. Simmons, who arrived in the summer after a spell at RB Leipzig, has quickly emerged as one of Spurs' most promising attacking outlets. Club insiders say his move might never have materialised without Van der Ven's intervention. The centre-back, already well established in Ange Postecoglou's squad, contacted Simmons directly during transfer discussions, urging him to choose Spurs. "We need you here," he reportedly told the midfielder, a message that resonated strongly. Since his arrival, Simmons has leaned heavily on his compatriot. Van der Ven is said to have played a central part in helping the 22-year-old settle, guiding him through daily routines, tactical expectations and life off the pitch. Teammates describe the pair as inseparable, often seen together at the training ground and away from it. The impact has been evident. Simmons delivered one of his strongest performances yet in Tottenham's recent 2-0 victory over Brentford, providing both a goal and an assist in a display that earned him the man of the match honours. His growing confidence mirrors the belief that Van der Ven publicly expressed earlier in the season, when he hailed Simmons as a player capable of producing special things. in a side that has been lacking creative spark in recent weeks. Tottenham's need for such inspiration has been acute. Injuries and changes in the squad left Postecoglou grappling with a shortage of invention in midfield. Simmons' emergence, backed by the stability and support offered by Van de Ven, has given Spurs a much-needed lift as they navigate a challenging phase of the campaign. Beyond the individual performances, the relationship between the two Dutchmen has become an emblem of the unity the club hopes to build around its younger core. With uncertainty lingering over coaching and structural decisions behind the scenes, the strong link between Van de Ven and Simmons offers Spurs a rare constant, a blend of defensive authority and attacking creativity anchored in trust. If Simmons continues his upward trajectory, Spurs may look back on Van de Ven's persuasive phone call, not just at the start of his transfer, but as a turning point in their season. The 2026 FA Cup third round draw will take place on Monday the 8th of December at approximately 6:45 p.m. UK time. The draw will take place before the second round tie between Brackley Town and Burton Albion, which is the last of this weekend's matches. Tottenham Hotspur will be ball number 39, and Joe Cole and former Spurs striker Peter Crouch will conduct the draw that will consist of 64 teams on TNT Sports. The third round ties will be played around the weekend commencing Saturday the 10th of January 2026. If there are no replays if matches end in a draw, all ties will go to extra time and, if necessary, a penalty shootout. Team Talk report that Tottenham Hotspur's reported interest in Crystal Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta has been played down, with sources close to the situation suggesting several major hurdles make any deal unlikely. Speculation emerged this week linking Spurs with a potential 2026 move for the French forward, who has scored 113 senior goals in his career and 47 in 139 appearances for Palace. Mateta is contracted at Selhurst Park until 2027 and has yet to agree an extension, prompting suggestions he could seek a new challenge. However, insiders indicate Palace are in no mood to sanction a sale, particularly while the club continues to compete strongly in domestic and European competitions. The striker remains a central figure in Oliver Glasner's plans, and the club is keen to maintain squad stability. While interest from abroad has been reported, the prospect of a Premier League rival securing Mateta is said to be slim. Tottenham's supposed pursuit is described as speculative at best, with no formal approach made and no negotiations underway. Mateta himself is believed to be ambitious and open to exploring future opportunities, but for now, both club stance and market realities create a significant roadblock to any immediate transfer developments as regards Tottenham. And Sports Mole report that Spurs' loss at the Parc des Princes last month marked the end of their unbeaten start to this year's Champions League, but a respectable total of 8 points as Tuesday's hosts of Slavia Prague still inside the seeded playoff spots in 16th and just 2 points off the automatic last 16 places. Also unblemished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League, beating Villarreal and Copenhagen without conceding, Spurs are on a magnificent 22-game unbeaten run in home European matches, and the Lily Whites are also just one goal away from hitting 100 in the Champions League. Frank previously could not buy a Premier League victory at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but Saturday's success over London derby rivals Brentford brought the feel-good factor back to North London as the Lily Whites snapped a 5-game winless sequence across all competitions, already succumbing to the superiority of North London club this season. Arsenal, and being condemned to a 3-0 home loss in the Premier League, upcoming visitors Slavia Prague are trudging towards an early Champions League elimination. The long-serving Jindřich Trpišovský is yet to lead his players to a league phase win, overseeing 3 draws and 2 defeats to collect a paltry 3 points, which has left the Czech Giants outside of the playoff places in 31st spot. Slavia Prague held Atlanta and Athletic Bilbao to respectable 0-0 draws either side of their Arsenal pummelling, but it has now been a little over 18 years since they have won a top-level European match, a 2-1 victory over Steaua Bucharest in September 2007. Since then, Slavia have tried and failed 16 times to succeed in the Champions League, where they have also failed to score in each of their last 4 matches. So the time is nigh for the visitors to translate domestic dominance into European points. Trifovski's men are on a 5-game winning streak in the Czech top flight after edging out Tbilisi 2-1 on Friday, thus maintaining a 5-point lead over Sparta Prague at the top of the table, but meetings with Tottenham do not trigger fond memories. Slavia Prague and Tottenham have previously squared off in the 2006-07 and 2007-08 UEFA Cup campaigns, meeting in the first round of the former and the last 32 of the latter, and the Lily Whites came through those 4 fixtures with 3 wins and 1 draw under their belts. On the injury news, Spurs left-back Destiny Udogie was an unexpected omission from the team sheet at the visit of Brentford, and Frank revealed afterwards that the Italy international has sustained a soft tissue problem, albeit a minor one. Nevertheless, Udogie will likely be spared for the visit of Slavia Prague, which James Maddison with his ACL, Dejan Kulusevski's knee, Kota Takai thigh, Dominic Solanke ankle, Radu Dragushin knee, and ankle victim Yves Bissouma, who is also being investigated for an alleged laughing gas video, will also miss. Brennan Johnson is at least eligible again following a European ban, but Mickey van der Ven, Richarlison and Randall Colomani will miss the match day 7 meeting with Borussia Dortmund if they are booked on Tuesday. And the publication goes with their predicting lineup of Vicario, Porro, Danso, van der Ven, Spence, Paulinia, Bergvall, Johnson, Simmons, Odegaard and Richarlison. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, Spurs going back to Australia. Interesting one, this. Obviously been there under Ange, been there before Spurs, as we know. I could have sworn we would be going to the USA, what with the World Cup and everything, being there next summer. But perhaps they're going to be saving that for next year, well, the year after, should I say, 2027. So interesting we're going all the way back to Australia, especially playing Chelsea. That'll be good. Are they trying to get back the Australian fans after we did lose a lot of Australian fans when Ange Postecoglou left, of course? But there is a big following in Australia, so why not go back there? But it is a hell of a long way to go, especially with a lot of players being on international duty at the World Cup. That's a lot of fly miles, but it's not like they fly EasyJet on the way all the way there, is it? So that's going to be interesting to see. And I would imagine they're slinging another game somewhere as well, which perhaps hasn't been announced yet. But yep, if you fancy a trip to Australia, those are the dates, just around the beginning of August next year after the World Cup. Van der Ven's influence on Xavi Simmons, not surprised to hear this. Obviously, I think Van der Ven's known Simmons since he was very young, actually. And to see a fellow countryman doing so well at Spurs, often phone calls like this do get transfers over the line. You know, Simmons talking to Van der Ven before he made his decision to join Tottenham, and Van der Ven obviously spoke glowingly about Tottenham, and by all accounts has told him to come and he'll be a star. Been a very slow start for Xavi Simmons. I say very slow. Let's go with slow. I think he shined against Brentford, so he's shown what he can do, but he needs to do that consistently. And that's the big thing for players, isn't it? Is just consistent performances. I would hope he's certainly done enough to earn a start against Slavia Prague. We crying out for that number 10 over recent weeks. We're obviously Maddison and Kulusevski still being out. We still never had that constant number 10. So hopefully Xavi Simmons can now push on and show us in every game the ability that he showed in the Brentford match, because he dominated that midfield and quite rightly won the man of the match. So everything going through Simmons, he's got to have the runners in front of him to play those through balls. But he also showed against Brentford that he's actually got a turn of pace. He likes a tackle as well, and ran half a length of the pitch and scored a fantastic goal. So he's got it in his locker. Just needs to do it more consistently, but obviously he needs to be in the team to be able to do that. Thomas Frank obviously hasn't fancied him in previous games, but hopefully now he's shown Thomas Frank that he can do it, he can trust him, and he will be a big part of this team going forward. Let's hope so. The FA Cup third round draw this evening, as stated on TNT Sports. Obviously, Spurs synonymous with the FA Cup. I can't believe we haven't won the thing since 1991. 8 times winners. At the time, we were the record holders to win the FA Cup, since been overtaken by other teams. But I think it's about time Spurs won the FA Cup. I know we say this every year, but what is it, 35 years since we won the FA Cup? That's incredible when you think of it. If somebody had told me in 1991, I've come from 2025 and we've not won the FA Cup since. That's incredible. Look, difficult to win. There's only 4 competitions you're generally in throughout the season, and FA Cup being one of them. We all know how hard it is to win anything, but this is one of the competitions I think Spurs should go big in. I think Thomas Frank should put out strong teams, whoever we get in this draw. Let's hope for a favourable home draw as well. That's always be good. So I see no reason why we can't go a long way in the FA Cup. Let's hope so. Reports to Jean-Philippe Mateta, a fantastic striker. I do like Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's big, he's strong, dominating. Doesn't sound like this is much of a goer at the moment. I mean, why would Crystal Palace, certainly in January, get rid of one of their prize assets? They wouldn't. If we're going to look at this, I would personally think he's going to be one for the summer. Yes, he's got an unresolved contract situation, but I can't see Palace letting him go unless you're paying silly money. Who knows, really? But this is the first sort of route. We've been linked with Mateta before, and I know that Spurs like the player, but I think this is going to be a difficult deal to get done in January. But let's see. And finally, Slavia Prague on Tuesday, of course. Again, this is a game that Spurs have got to go on and win. They simply must go on and win this game, and that almost guarantees you passage through, I think, into the knockout stages, or certainly a playoff match at worst. So if we can get this done, get 3 more points on the board, that would be really good going into the Christmas fixtures. This is, look, make no bones about it, this is a team we should be beating. We've beaten them before in European competition. Yes, they're top of their home league, but in European competition, there are a lot better teams. They're very near the bottom of the Champions League table. So on paper, at least, we should be beating them. But come on, Spurs, get another 3 points under your belts and another good home win in European competition on Tuesday, and that is what I expect. And that's all for me today then. So get down in the comments, let me know how you're feeling as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now. And as always, come on you Spurs.